Okay, well, today we are going to be starting with the tutorials on Microsoft Word, and while waiting for the others to join, I think we can just go on. So, please, I need you to indicate how many people have the software with them so we can work together. Mr. John, do you have the software installed in your system? And if so, what version are you working on?
Yep. Yes, sir. I have Microsoft Excel. I have a software, then I'm using 2010.
Okay, you're using 2010. Okay, that's good.
Are you getting me?
Yeah, I can get you. I can get you very well.
That is a this is a that is a setup I have. 2010 version.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's good. It's good. 2010 version is good. So, but the version that I'm going to be using, can you get me? The version that I'm going to be using is 2007.
Yes, sir.
Yes, so that, like I explained earlier, with the 2007 version, you can work with any other later version. So you will just follow up as with everything that we'll be doing, and then you work with it. You just follow up like that. I see you're operating. Is that Windows 8?
It's Windows 10.
Okay, Windows 10. Yeah, that's
This is a
okay. Okay, so well, I'm just going to rush over some prerequisites which you will need to have or to know before we really get into this course. Well, the first thing is you will need to have the software installed in your system. That is the 27 or any other later version. Yeah, you need to have any of those installed in your system. And then you're also going to at least have a little bit of mastery on how to work with the keyboard and all that, with the mouse and all that, and maybe navigate through Windows and all that, because we are not really going to be covering any of that as far as this course is concerned. So, well, we already assume that you already have a mastery of, maybe working with the keyboard, keyboard types and all that. And then you can also just do your normal activities, moving around the Windows interface, and stuff like that. So, I'm going to go ahead now and share my screen, and then I will show you how to run the software if you already have it installed in your system. So, okay, can everybody
sorry,
see
some
my
of your
screen?
mic. Mm, no, I'm seeing that a building, something of that nature.
Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yes,
Okay, so for you to run the Word program, if you already have it
yes,
installed,
sir.
yes, you just need to go down to the Start menu here. You click on the Start button, and then you scroll down until you find the folder that says what? Microsoft Office. That is this one. So you click on the drop-down key, which is at the side here. And then presently we are working with Microsoft Word. So you just scroll down until you find what Microsoft Office Word, which is this one here. So like I said, I'm running the 27 version. So you just click on that and it's going to open up the program. Okay, is everybody seeing the Word application now opened on my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is the Word.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is the program that we are in now presently. So I'm just going to go ahead and introduce some. I hope you're also working on the program, Mr. Oh, I think he's having some connection problems too. Is he connected? Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and I'll just continue. So presently, I'm just going to talk about the Word program. You know, introduce some different components that we have as far as this program is concerned. No, maybe if you're seeing this for the first time, it might be a little bit confusing, but just work with us, and we are going to explain everything in detail. So at first, up here, this bar that we have here, we call this the title bar. Now, if you see on the title bar here, there are a series of options which are there. What kind of options can you see directly? You see the first one here, which is written document one. This is actually going to be the name of the document that you are working with. So if I was to save this document or whatever document that I'm working with a specific name, then I am going to, the name of that document is going to appear here. Are we together? So presently, this is the default name of any document that is you're going to be working with. It just appear there as document one. Okay, I think there's some people out. Let me see if I can bring. Okay, welcome everybody. So, like I was saying, presently we are at this is what you have. If you are just coming in, I was already showing how you can open the Word application, and I am running the 27 version. So please, I just need everybody to confirm if they can actually get me. I see Mr. John, your audio appears to be having a problem. I don't know if you can get us. Mr. John, can you get us now? Oh, he's offline. Appears to be having some connection problems. Okay, so let's go on. So what I was saying is this up here is called what? This is the title bar. Now this title bar is this straight bar that we have up here. Now, what are these tools that I find on this title bar? Now, this is just a brief introduction. We are going to take time and go through all these commands one after the other. So on the title bar, the first thing that you are going to see is the name of the document that you are currently working on. So presently it's just written here, document one. Now the reason we have document one here is because this document is just a new document. This is the default name that comes up when you open a new document in Microsoft Word. Now, if I was to save this document to a specific name now, that is the name that we are going to be having here. We are going to see that as we go on. So also attached to the title bar is these other options which we have here. Now we call this the quick access toolbar. Now this quick access toolbar. Hello, can everyone get me?
Yeah, I can get you. So
Okay. And this quick access toolbar is a series of commands which are customizable. It means that if you have any commands that you use very often in Word, you can add them to this bar. Presently, we have just the save command. I think the undo and the redo command here. We are going to go through all of these commands. Yes, it should not be confusing for anybody who is not really familiar with this. And then we can also customize this quick access toolbar because it's always going to appear on any page that you
Yes,
have,
sir.
as far as Word.
Sir, I wish a favor from you.
Yes. Who is speaking, please? Yes, who
what's
is
happening?
speaking? Who is speaking? Someone who is speaking? Is it Mr. Gandhi?
No, it's not me. I heard someone said he wants to get a favor from you, and
Yeah,
then
that's what
he
I'm
was
asking.
mute.
And please, when we are in a session like this, if you need something, I think you can only do that after we give room for questions. Except you're having problem with your audio or your sound and all that, and you cannot really get us. Apart from that, please, you can only ask your questions after we are done with the session, and we now give room for questions. Okay, so also beside the quick access toolbar, we have what? The office button. Now this office button, this is new in 27. Yes, in earlier, if you have been working with earlier versions like 23, that's 2003, and all the other earlier versions, this office button is not there, but presently we have it in 27. So now what this office button does is, if you just click on it, it can enable you to what? You can create a new document, you can open an existing document, you can save the current document that you are working with, you can print, prepare, and order. We are going to cover all of this, and also you can also exit. If you click this button, you exit the whatever work that you are working with as far as what is concerned. So we are going to go through all these commands in a later tutorial. So now let's go straight into what? The ribbon. Now, what is the ribbon? This, what you find here, is what is called the ribbon. Now, this ribbon is specific to whatever tab you're working with. If you find above here, presently we are working in what? The home tab. If I was to go to the next tab and I click there, this is presently now the insert tab. You see that the commands here have changed. If I move again, now the page layout tab, you see we have other commands here and the reference tab and all that. But the home tab, whether you're working with Microsoft Office Word or Excel or whatever, the home tab is always customized in such a way that you can easily work with it without necessarily going through all these other tabs. Now, it is only if you need to really do some advanced work, which will really make you to really have to go through all these other tabs, which you have to now come to maybe the insert tab, maybe to insert a table and all whatnot. We are going to really look at that. So in the home tab, this is what we have. This is the ribbon for the home tab. And you'll see that these commands here, they are separated in different what? Boxes. Now all these boxes here, presently we have the clipboard, and you come here, you have the font. So all the commands here are what? Associated to what? The clipboard. The commands here are associated to what? Font. Font, that means text. The commands here are associated to paragraphing, and all these other commands here that you have here are all under what? Styles. And then of course we have these here which are associated to editing the document. Okay, so under the home tab, we look at the first command here, which is what? The clipboard. Now under the clipboard, what is the clipboard? If you copy any document, say maybe from a different document or from a different software or maybe even from the internet, and you want to paste it in here. Now, when you copy a document, it is saved in the computer memory. That is called the clipboard. Okay. So if I was to copy something, say from the internet, and I come here and I click on this, if you see, some of these commands have this little arrow which is associated with them. If I was to click here, now you see this page opens. I'm going to see whatever has been copied to the computer memory here, and now I can select any of it and I paste it in the document. Now, if you just copy one specific thing, you can easily paste it in here. So the clipboard helps you to just copy, paste, cut, and also we have the format painter here. All these commands, please don't get carried away. We are going to look at them one after another. Yes, I'm just giving a brief introduction of all this. And then after that, we have the font tab. Now, under this font, we have what? You got the bold command, you got the italic. Now, if you don't understand any of these commands, you can always hover on them like this with a mouse, and then you see the name of the command and also what it is being used for. Yes. So we got the bold, we got italics, we got the underline, and then you see that close to some of the commands, you also have a drop down arrow. Now, some of these commands, they are just so vast in such a way that it cannot really be shrinked to put in all these groups as you see like this. So if you click on the drop down arrow, you are going to see more options which are here. These are different lines and stuff like that, which you can also use to maybe fine tune the document to whatever format that you want. And then, of course, we also have this. Please, can everybody mute the mic, please? And of course, we also have the strike through command here, which you can use to maybe strike out parts of your document which you don't want to maybe be visible or and stuff like that. And then we got what subscript, manuscript. We also got change case. This helps you to change maybe upper and lower case and all that. So all this stands under what? The font. We're really going to see that when we're working with fonts. And then after that, we got paragraphing, of course. Paragraphing is just used to modify your text, whatever text is found on screen. Do you want it to align to the right? You want it to align to the left? You want to bring in a numbering system? You want to bring in some bullets? You want to decrease the indent? You want to increase the indent, you know, maybe also change the shading and maybe also put some borders around the text and all that. This is where you come to. And then of course you see that under the font key, let me come back here. Under the font commands here, you also see there's a little button which is associated here still. If we click this, this brings up this box here. Now, these are more commands which are still under the font, but they can't be put here because they are what? These commands are just too many. But the commands that are put here are the ones that are commonly used, except you really need to come in here to do something which is more detailed before you really come. You click here, you come in here, and you can still fine-tune your document, you know, using this tool. And then, of course, under the paragraphing tool, you also see we have this here, which if we click, we open. You also have more commands here and also different tabs, which, of course, we're going to be looking at that. And then here, we have what? The styles. Now, these styles, it just shows how you want your document to appear. Some of the styles have been customized with Word. If you just install Word, these styles, they come in what? Automatically. Yes, these styles, they come in automatically. So presently, by default, you always be working with the default normal styles. Now, if you want your headings to appear in a specific way and the body, that is maybe the first paragraph of which you're working with, to appear in a specific text, and the second, you can customize the styles and all that. But if you want to customize everything as you go, then that is why you always have the normal. The normal means that if I'm typing, all my text will be appearing with what? Maybe the same character, the type of font size that I'm working with, and the font type. That's the font type and the font size too. It all appears like that. If I want that, maybe the heading now should be like bigger and stuff like that, I get to customize it. But you can do that in styles. You can customize a certain way that you want your document to appear, so that if you are moving to a different paragraph, the paragraph automatically knows that what? No, I know that I'm moving to a different paragraph, so the heading has to appear like this, you know, yeah, and stuff like that. So we are also going to be looking at that. And then, of course, you can change the styles, you know, here. And you still see there is also a key, the drop down here, which if we click, you also have a pop-up, which is going to give you more commands for the styles. Yes, my screen is big enough, so it's taking all of it. But if you're working on a smaller screen, yes, you click this, you are going to see a drop down which will appear, which you also have more styles, yes, that you can be working with. We are going to look at all this. And then, of course, if you have a vast document, which if you have a vast document which is too big, and you are like, say you want to get to a specific word, or you are looking for a specific thing, you don't have to go and you're reading through the whole document to look for that. No, you just come under what you have here, find. So if I was to click on this find, we're not really going to be working with text for now, so I don't really want to type anything. If I was to click on this find, like you see now it's gonna ask you, find what? What are you looking for? You just type whatever it is you are looking for in this find, and you click on find, and it's gonna go exactly to that word that you are looking for. Now it even has a more advanced option, which you can do what? You can just find that stuff and you replace it. Let's say maybe you're working with a very vast document and you need to change some words in that document. Now, you know, it's going to be very exhausting to go and you're changing them one after the other. You know, you have to be reading through the document. No, but with Word, you can just put the word here. Let's say maybe you want to change from lowercase to uppercase. You just put the word in here, you find the word, and then you already put what you want it to be replaced with, and it just changes that automatically. And also you can use this to go to a specific page or a section or a line or all that, which we're all going to be looking at. And then of course, the replace option is just, it's also under the find, which we have just seen. You can find a word, you can also replace a word, and you can also go to a specific section. So today, we are just going to be looking at, today is just an introductory class, you know. We are not really going to go into a lot of details, just not to get a lot of people carried away. I know maybe you don't yet have the software. There are some people who don't yet have the software installed and all that. I already covered how you can open the software to get to this page. And I also think we shared a link in the group, which if you don't have the software, you can download it and install it so that you can be able to follow with us. Now, at the end of each class, I'm going to be giving a series of assignments, which I expect all of that to be done and sent to me before we move to the next class. So you have to take those assignments very seriously. And I only know that you're actually catching up with the way that I see the assignments coming along, because we are not only here to teach, we also have to be sure that whatever it is that we are giving out there, you're actually following up. And we can only know that by the assignments and stuff like that. So up to this level now, I'm going to give room for any questions. If you have any question to ask, you ask before we move on to the next phase. So you can unmute your mics if you have any question.
Sir, can I ask a question?
Yeah, I just said you can ask a question, so go ahead.
As you are working like this, is it a A4 sheet, or you have to set the sheet on the A4, or when you want to print, you can set it? Because I've not heard anything about the working space.
Can you come again?
I'm asking that
Yes.
this working space like that, is it A4 working space, like when you just type here, you print, you come up from
No. You're already going to. We are not yet there. Okay, that is under page layout, to be talking about the page sizes and all that. We are not yet there. Presently, we are still working under the home tab. I don't think we've gone to page layout and all that yet. Yes, so, you know, I know that in here we have different set of people, but we are trying to make it in such a way that everybody can catch up. Yes. So we're just going to be going systematically. When we get to that point, you're really going to understand, yes, with the pages and all that. We are not yet there. Mm-hmm. Please, any other question?
Yes, sir.
Greetings to you,
Please,
sir.
before you want to ask a question, you can say your name so that I know who is actually speaking.
In lesson 3. Okay, Nadesh is Nadesh.
Okay, yes, go ahead, Nadesh.
About
Your sound is not really clear. I can't really get you properly. Hello, Nadesh, are you there?
Hello.
You can type your question in the chat section. If you're having problem with your audio, you can type your question in the chat section.
Yes, I'm there.
Okay, yeah, I can get you now. Go ahead.
Oh my.
I was asking like, what is the bar? That's that I'm on the use of it. The one above up, just beside the space.
You said I can't really get you. Can you just type your question in the chat section? Do you know how to access that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, just type your question in the chat section so we can get back to it. Yeah, please. Any other question?
Okay, greetings to you, sir. This is Langmi Bruno.
Oh, yeah, Bruno. Yeah, I can get you.
Yeah, seemingly I've been facing a lot of network issues, and I haven't really even catch up right up to this point where you are. But hopefully I catch up as we evolve. I've been connecting since 8, and now I'm even getting something clear. Everything was breaking.
Okay. Yes, no, but briefly, I was just explaining how you can open the software, and we've been speaking of the title bar and the home tab and all the commands that we have in the home tab and all that, but we haven't really gone into detail. So now it's just introduction. We are going to be handling each of the commands systematically as we move.
Okay, thank you very much. So I just wanted to find out, is it like we should open to the application while you give explanations and we'll follow up on the PC?
Yes, of course. If you were here before, you will see that.
All right.
Yes, just open the application so that as we are working, you just you are doing exactly what we are doing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I was saying that I didn't get the use of the cut bar from the home tab. The cut bar. Okay, Nadesh, I see your question now. So you're asking about the cut bar from the home tab. Okay, the cut bar, I don't really know what you're talking about. Okay, you mean the cut command in the clipboard? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. No, actually, we haven't really gotten to that. We are really going to look at that in detail when we are working like with text and all that. Yes, but just to answer that, the copy, cut, paste, format painter, I said were found under what? The clipboard. That is just what you have to understand for now. I haven't really shown how to use it and all that. Yes, we are still getting into that, okay? Yes, and you are going to understand better when we are working with a document. Yes. So any other question? Okay, if there's no other question, then we can move. We can go ahead. Okay, so now presently I'm just going to type a text on the screen. Oh, so it's just gonna read hello. Okay, I hope everybody can see this. Hello, can everyone get me?
Yeah, I can get
you, sir.
Okay, so this just reads what? This just reads hello. Okay, so what we are going to do with this text is I'm going to use this to try to explain the commands that we have here in the clipboard and the font. Okay, yes. Okay.
Yeah, I get the window by the way.
Okay, so presently what we have here is what? Hello, and I typed this by using the keyboard. Okay, so this part that we have here, this is our working area. Okay, this is just like a sheet of paper on the screen. So whatever thing we are going to be doing in Word is going to be happening here in this working area, this white space that you find here. Okay, now if you look at the right hand side here this way, you are going to see that we have Okay, if you have look at the right hand side here, you are going to see that we have a screw bar here. Is everybody seeing this? Now, if I was to screw this down, you see that the page is moving up, okay? And if I take it up, so as you're working with your document and you're getting down, you can use this screw bar to screw down and up, okay? Now, of course, if you have a mouse that has a middle mouse button, you can just use the middle mouse button to also screw down like this, and you screw up. You see, I'm doing this without clicking on the screw bar. So you just come here, either you click left, you left click and you pull this down and up, or you use the middle mouse button and you just pull it down like that and up. Now, of course, there's also another bar which is always here, which you can use to go right and left. It's just my screen is really big. Let me minimize this. Okay, let's take it this way. Okay, my screen is really big, so it's not appear, but actually there's also another bar which is always found at the bottom here. So if your page is really big and your screen is small and you have text that is floating and going this way, so you can also use that bar to maybe move right and left. Okay, so now with what we have here on screen, we are going to use what? The commands that we have in the clipboard. So I believe this should help you to understand that better. So if I was to select this now, I'm selecting. Now, if you see the cursor, presently what you find on screen here, as you see, this is my mouse pointer, which is moving. You see it's circling around like this, right? Yeah, that's my mouse pointer. And the pointer changes with respect to what you are doing. Now, if I was to go up here, now look at this. Are you seeing this? As I'm coming up here, you see the pointer is changing. So presently this cursor is in this form because it knows that we are working with what text. But as I start moving up here, it transforms into an arrow because it knows that maybe I want to like pick a command and stuff like that. So the cursor changes with respect to what you are doing. So, okay, presently I am up here. I can now select a command. But now once I come back to the screen, you see the cursor changes back to this format, which I can now use to maybe select my text and all that. So I want to highlight this text now. Now there are two ways of which we can do this. Okay? The first way is you come to the end of the text here, you left click and you pull to the left. Now that highlights the text. Okay, you can just press, okay, if I click back here, it goes back off. The next way for you to do that, you can actually work with this without using the mouse. How do you do that? You hold the shift key. It can be the right or the left shift key on your keyboard. I hope everybody knows what the shift key is. I don't think we have to get into keyboards here. I hope everybody knows what the shift key is. You hold the shift key and you hold the left mouse button. Now you see, that is also selecting it, right? If I go back right, you see it selects it. So you hold the shift key down and you move the left mouse button. That also selects the text. Okay. Now, what has happened? You see that the moment you selected this text, the cut and the copy command are now visible. Let's go back. Let's deselect this. You see, you can't select the cut and the copy command for good reason too, because of course there's nothing to cut here if you don't select anything. And there's nothing to copy if you haven't selected anything. But when once you select something, now you see they become visible. So what's the difference between cut and copy? Cut takes off the whole text that you've selected, keeping nothing, okay? But it has been pasted in the memory already. So if I was to come down here to the clipboard and I click on this drop down arrow, now you see, this is the latest document that I have copied or cut. Now, this is not only in Word. Even if I was working with the internet and I copy a document or I cut a document, it's still going to appear in the clipboard. This clipboard is not the clipboard of Microsoft only. This is the memory of the computer. It is telling you that these are the stuff that has been copied and pasted here. So if you have like 100 or 10 different documents that you've copied or text that you've copied, you're going to find them in here, okay? So this is the clipboard. So now this is the one that has just been cut. And if I wanted to paste it, all I need to do is what? I just come up here to the paste. I first select what I want to paste. You see it appears there. Let's take that back off. If I click on paste here, you see it just pastes the document. Now, another way of doing this is, let me just go back out of the clipboard. If I was to select the document again, and I click on copy, now this copies it to the clipboard, but it keeps the original document. Okay. Okay, I think Mr. Jordan is around. Mr. Jordan, can you Can you get me? Yeah, I think Mr. Judene is around now.
Yes, I am around. I'm so sorry, so sorry. I had some interruptions which were really beyond my control. I've just managed to adjust them now. So I'm so sorry that I am coming in at this particular moment. But I'm so happy the class is moving on smoothly and we can ride on smoothly. So while I try to put up my system, because I'm using my phone at this moment, so we can really have a smooth class. So thank you very much, Mr. Hilary.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, so now let's say I copy this. Now you see the document still remains there. Now, if I wanted to paste this, say to the right, what do? You can come up here and you click on paste multiple times. You see, it just keeps pasting, and it just keeps pasting like that. Okay. So let's just take this off. I'm selecting the whole document, and you can take this off by just pressing the delete key on your screen, or press the backspace key on your keyboard rather. Okay, so that is the difference between cut and copy. Cut takes off a selection of the document completely, leaving nothing. Copy, it copies a selection, puts it to the clipboard, but you still have the selection on screen. Okay, that's just the difference between cut and copy. So it now depends on how you want to, you are working, you now decide which one you are going to be using, whether the cut or the copy. And then, of course, we have shortcuts in doing this, but we are not going to go into that now. We're going to go into that in a later tutorial. Yes, for now, you just work with your mouse and your keyboard. Yes, I'm going to fill you in with the shortcuts and all that in a later tutorial. So now, what is the next thing that you find here again on the clipboard? Is Format Painter. Now, this Format Painter is an advanced option which is found in almost all the programs as far as Microsoft Office is concerned. You have it in Excel, you have it in Publisher, you have it in almost all of them. What this does is, if I was to format this, say this is in all caps, okay? Now let's change this to say lowercase. I'm going a little bit advanced, but just follow with me. Okay. So let's even say we bold this. Now, if you have a document which is too vast and you have to be moving from one to another, let me just paste. Okay, let's say I want to transform all these hellos into what? It should be bold, it should be underlined, just like this one. Now, you don't have to be going through each and every one, say you are bolding this, you are underlining and all that. No. All you do is you just select what you have here. You come to this Format Painter, you click. Now you see this brush. A brush is going to appear when you hover over a text. You see. So what happens is, if I was to select, say, just this L and O, please, somebody's mic is, please, can everybody like mute the mic? Okay. So if I was to select just this, I'm still getting the interference from the mic. I don't know who that is coming from. Okay, let's go again. So you select what you want to, okay. So you select what, like say you select this. This has been formatted. It is bold. It is underlined. Let's even put a little bit of italics there too. Now, if I select the Format Painter, let's say I select just the L and the O here. What do you see has happened? You see, it has transformed this into the same format that we have here. Now that saves you the trouble of going ahead and doing all and everything, you know, bolding, italics, the underline. It works for everything. Even if you put a background or whatever you do, you use using the Format Painter, you can easily transform your document. So all you need to do is you select the source, you click on Format Painter, and then you select the target like this, as you can see there. Again, you select the source, format penta, you select this. Yeah. So basically, those are all the commands that we have as far as the clipboard is concerned. So if I was to click on this drop down, it's still going to open what? The clipboard, and then you are still going to see the documents that we've been copying and all that in here. So again, in the clipboard now, you have the option to paste everything that you've been copying in your document. You also have the option to what? Clear all. Coming down here also, you have other options down here which you can use, but these are for advanced. This is for the advanced stage. We're not really going to go into this because you will rarely use this except you are really interested in the advanced stage of work. But basically, this is just what you have to know as far as working with the clipboard is concerned. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and I close this. So this is it for the clipboard. I don't know if we've already touched some components in the font section, but I'm just going to pause here, and in case anyone has any question or any doubt, we just clear it down before we continue. So questions, please. If anybody has any question, you can unmute your mic now and you ask your question.
Okay, greetings. It's Langmi Bruno again.
Yes.
I didn't, in my attempt to try as we were going, I didn't quite catch the issue of the format painter.
Okay, the format painter. Okay. Okay, so I was saying the format painter. What the format painter does is, let's say this document is formatted like this, okay? Now, presently, this text is bold, it's italics, okay? And it's underlined, as you can see here. Now, if we want to transform other components of this text like this, we don't have to be doing that one after the other. The format painter is here to ease that job for you. So what do? First, you select the source. Let's say this is how you want the rest of the document to look like, okay? So all you need to do is just select the source like this, okay? And then you come up to the format painter, you click it. You don't click the format painter first, no. First, you select the source like this, and then you go up to the format painter, you click it once, okay? And then you just pull your mouse without clicking anything again. You hover over what you want to transform now, and then you left click. When I say click, now if I'm speaking of right clicking, I'm gonna specify. So when I'm talking and I speak of click, I'm speaking of what? Left clicking, okay? Yes, so you left click now, and you just pull over what you want to transform like this. You are going to see the brush appearing there as you do that, and then you allow, you just let go of the mouse like that. So you see that text has been transformed. I don't know if that answers your question.
Thank you.
Okay, any other question? Okay, if there's no other question, then I think we'll go to the last option for the day, which is the font section. So I'm just briefly going to talk about the font section. And by so doing, I'm going to save this document and also show you how you can save a document by doing so. So this, our hello document, we're going to save is as what? Hello, okay? Now, there's a difference between save and save as. First of all, how do you save your document? If you are just coming in, I already covered that. You go off to the office button, which you have here. You left click. This is going to open. In here, you have the option to create a new document. You have the option to open an existing document. Then you have the option to save. Now, if we were working with this document and we have saved it before, if you come and you click on save again, it's gonna override that document, okay? But now, since we haven't saved this, we're going to click on what? Save. So if I click on save now here, it's gonna open up this box. Now, this, what I'm seeing here by default is always going to open up and try to save in your documents folder, which is found in your computer. Please, somebody's mic is still disturbing. Please just mute your mics, okay? Except when we give room for questions, then you can unmute your mic, please. Just mute your mics, okay? So now, when I click on save, now the only reason this is appearing here is because I am saving this document for the first time, okay? Yes, I'm saving this document for the first time. And by default, this has taken me to my documents folder, okay? So we're just going to save this document with hello, as you can see here. So we're just going to go in there and we type hello. And you come down here and you click on save. That is all you need to know for now, okay? Yes, this is how you save your document. I'm not going to be speaking of the type of documents and all that. We are probably saving this as a Word document. So I'm going to click on save. And we've saved this as what? Hello. So now I am going to show you where you can find this document in your system if you have saved it correctly. So by so doing, we are going to minimize this page. Now, for you to minimize this page that you are working with, if you come back up to the title bar, which we have up here, what are you first going to notice? You are going to notice that the title has now changed to what? Hello. Previously, it was document 1, okay? But now, since we've saved this document as hello, we now have it here in the title. So it means the title of the document that we're working with now is what? Hello, okay? So now, I want to minimize this page. So I'm going to come here, still on the title bar, and you can see we have the minimize option there. So I'm going to go ahead and and minimize it. Okay. So now, presently, I want to look for where that document is. Now I said by default, it's going to take you where? It's going to take you to your documents folder. So you click on your PC here. You open this up. Presently, I am in my PC. I hope everybody is seeing this. Now I am working with Windows 10. It might be a little bit different for anybody that is not working with Windows 10. But if you are working with Windows 8 or Windows 10, you should have this screen as you see like this. So I'm gonna come on the left. Now you find this here. I believe everybody in here should be able to walk around with your system and all that. So I'm gonna come to the Documents tab, which you have here, and I click on that. So I scroll down until I find our document, which is what? Hello. So this is the document. So in case you need to copy this document or do whatever you want to do with this document, this is where you come and you get it. So this is where we saved the document in our what? Our documents folder, okay? I'm just gonna go back out and I bring back the document up. So now, if we want to get back to the document, all you need to do is just to come back down to the tax bar here. As I minimize it, you minimize to the tax bar. So I come back to the tax bar and I bring this back up, and then of course, I want it back to fill the string. So I come back to the maximize option, which I have here, and I maximize it, and we have the document back as it was. So now I'm going to go ahead and I create a new document for us to work with the font section, as you can see here. So how do we create a new document? We come back to the Office button here, we click, and we come down to what? New. Now you'll see under recent documents, we now have one document which has been saved here, which is what? Hello. So if you were to open this document, all you need to do is just to come here and you click on this document, and it's going to open it back. It's going to open back this same document which you have here. But now we want what? We want a new document. So I just come here, I click on the Office button, I come down to New, and I press New, and you have the option here, which is going to tell you that what do you want to create? Do you want a blank document? Of course, we want a blank document. So we're not going to be covering all this. We're going to cover this in a later tutorial. So we want a blank document. So we go ahead and we click what? Create. Of course, there are shortcuts to do this, but like I've said, now I'm showing you how to do this using your keyboard and your mouse, okay? We're going to be covering the shortcuts in a later tutorial. Okay, so presently we have what? We have a blank document. This is back, we are back to the blank page which we had like we were working before. So now, if you look on the title here up, what are you going to find? You are going to find that we have a new document which is titled what? It's titled document 2, if everybody can see that. That is because we haven't saved this document yet, okay? Yes, so it's titled document 2 because Word knows that what? We had an old document which was titled what? Document 1. So now we've opened a new document. So of course, it's labeling it document 2. Okay. Yes. So presently we are working on document 2. And in this document, we are going to work with the font commands, which we have here. So I'm just going to go ahead and I type a text. So I would like somebody to give me a text which we can work with. You know, we have to make this very interactive. So someone should give me a text which we can type and we work with and we customize so you can follow better. I think Mr. Bruno, you can unmute your mic and you give us the text. Are you with us, Mr. Bruno? Okay, if Mr. Bruno is not there, I think.
Yeah, I'm present.
Okay. So I need you to give us a text. Just give us a text which you think that we can work with now. And you need to be very fast, please.
Hello, I'm present.
Yes. Give us a text. We are currently working with the font key, so we need you to give us a text which we can work with and customize so you guys can easily follow up better. So please, and you need to be very fast. Just give us a text. I can type now on screen.
A single word, sir.
No, not a single word, a sentence.
Okay. Let's work on the word. We are all students and ready to learn.
We are all students
and ready to learn.
And ready to learn. Okay, that's good. So we are all students and ready to learn. That is what we got from Mr. Bruno. So we are going to use this to work with our font ribbon, which we have here. Okay, so now by default, when you are working with Word, the font type which you'll be working with is what? This is, you see, you find the font type here. What is a font type? The font type is just the type of the text that you're currently working with. Okay, now, if for some reason you don't like what you see here and you wish to like change the font type, all you need to do is what? So let me just copy this below first. Okay, so please, mics, please mute your mics, please. I think Francolin, that might be coming from you. Please mute your mics, Okay, thank you. So now let's say we want to change this font type to a different font. Presently, what are we working with? We're working with the Calibri font, okay? Forget about the body which is attached to it. I'm gonna explain this in a later tutorial. So we're working with the Calibri font. So if you wish to change this font type, all you need to do is to click on the drop down key, which you have near the font tab here. So now when you click this, you're gonna see a whole list of different font types. So as I am moving through them, now you see as it's changing, you see as the font is changing as we are going down. There are some that will not even make sense, of course. Yes. So if we were to change this, say to, let's change this to Algerian. Okay. So presently we have this. So this is in Calibri and this is in Algerian. Okay. So these are two different font types which we have here now. Let's go ahead and we'll create another font type again. So I'm still going to paste this down. Let's change this to a different font type. So first, you select what you want to change. You left click at the end and you pull. Like I've said, you can do that with the mouse by left clicking and you pull like this. Or you can also use the keyboard. You place your cursor at the end of what you want to select. You hold down the shift key and then you use the arrow key and you just pull like that and it's still going to select without you using the mouse, okay? So now, let's say we change this now to, say, area black. Okay, so this is still another font type. Now we're working with font types here. Okay, so now we have our beautiful text, which we got from Mr. Bruno, which reads, we are all students and ready to learn. Now you see it is made up of three different what? Font types. Okay, all right. So now The next option which we have here is the font size. So if you want to change the size of this text now, say maybe increase it or reduce it. Let me just paste another one here, okay? So if you want to change the size of this text, all you need to do is to still select, and then you come here. Presently, it's on font size 11. So let's say you want to like take it up a bit to 14. You can change that. Now you see it's bigger. So I'm just go ahead and paste again. So let's say instead of increasing, you wish to reduce. All you need to do again is to click on the drop down and let's say maybe 8. And then of course, you don't really need to be clicking on the drop down. Of course, if you know what you are doing, you can always just type in there. So if I say, like for instance, you see, this is mostly in a difference of 2. But let's say you want to change the font size to say maybe 9.5. How do you do that? Of course, we can't find 9.5 here, okay? Or maybe 13. You can only have 12, 14, 16, 18, because bear with me, there are instances in which you need to do that, okay? So what you need to do is to come in here, and if I was to type 13 now, even though it is not found in here, but it's gonna change me this text to what? The size 13, okay? Yes, so that is just it for font type and font size. It helps you to change the type of the font which you are currently working with to a different font type, and also to change the size. Of course, if you want to change the font type, you use what? You use the font type command, which you have here. And you want to change the size, you use the font size command, which you have here. Okay, so we are going to go ahead now to the next command. I'm just going to come down, which is what? Bold. Now, if you hover over each of these commands, you are going to, of course, see the name of the command, its use, and also the shortcut which you can use to work with that command. But I've said with shortcuts, we're going to cover that in a later tutorial. So for now, let's say I want this, I want to bold this command. What is the meaning of bold? That just increases the thickness of the text, okay? It makes it more, just like from the name, makes it more bold, okay? More visible. Okay, so let's say we want to bold this. Let me just go down and I paste down here again. So all you need to do is just to select this and you click on what? Bold. Now you see that this is darker, okay, than the original text which we have up here. You see this is dark, so it has made this what? Bold. Now, of course, close to the bold command, you have what? Italics. So if we wanted to also make this, let's go down. You can also change this to italics by just clicking on this command. You see the difference. And of course, you can also underline the text by also clicking on the underline command, which we have here. Okay, so you see that has put a line below. But now what do you notice when you look at the underline key? You see that there is a drop down arrow at the side here. Now that is because there is not just one way of underlining your text as far as what is concerned. You might want to underline using a different type of line, you know, and stuff like that. So what you need to do is just to, let me just go down and I paste another doc. What here? Okay. You click on this drop down. Now you see you have different types of lines here. And of course, you have more underlines here. If you click here, you are going to have that. And of course, it doesn't end there. You can even change the color of the line which you are using to underline. Like for instance, presently we are working with a black line, which a dark line, which just underlines as you see like that. Now, if I wanted to use another line, say maybe this double line, okay, and then I want to change the color of the line. By automatic, it's always going to be dark, but you can change that to say maybe this dark red or just red, or you can even customize your color. If you still don't find the color which you want in here, you can always come to more colors and stuff like that, and you maybe try to fine tune the color. But let's just change this to red. Okay, so you just understand, yeah. So you see, we have a double line here, and it's not just a double line, but it's red. So what have we done? We've done two things here. First, we underlined by using the double line, and then we came down here and we changed the color of the lines to what? Red. Okay. Now, as you're creating your documents, there are going to be some part of the document that maybe you just want to strike out for maybe just leave that part out as you're reading. You want it visible, but they shouldn't really like pay a lot of attention to it and all that. That is why we have this command for strike through. So let's say we are all students and ready to learn. Okay, we are all students and ready to learn. So if you want to strike out a part of students, so you just select here and you select the next command, which is what? Strike out. It is still visible, but you have the strike out there. Maybe, yeah, just for you don't really want a lot of attention to be paid there, or whatever the reason, you can also do that. And then the next command, which we have the subscript. Now this mostly goes for what? Formulas. Yeah, this is when you're working with formulas. Subscript is for those who are familiar with maths. Let's say you want to write like the log of 10. Okay, so if I was to type log 10 here, now you see it appears like that, but this is not really how we want it to appear in a formula base. Okay, so what you do is you select this 10 and you come down, you come here. If I was click to click on what? Subscript, you see it goes down. So you have log 10. This is more like it. But a point to note here is after you do that, if you're working with your document, you need to go back and you click on the command again, because if I was to continue typing here, you see it keeps typing in the subscript and that can present a problem. So you just need to go back up and you click on the command again and you're back to normal. Okay, and we can start typing normally again, as you can see. But now let's say you wanted a manuscript, that is, let's say you want to write something like, we're still in maths, say x squared, you know, for those who are familiar with maths. Yeah, we want to write something like x squared. So what you need to do, if you type x, now this is not what we want. We actually wanted to read x squared. So what you do is you select the 2 and you go up here and you type that and you can see. And then again, after you do that, you have to click again on the command to come back to what? To normal, as you can see there. Okay, so that is it for subscript, manuscript. And then the next option which you have here is change case. How does this work? Change case means you're working with your document. Maybe you want certain parts to appear. You just change the case of the text. Some can appear in caps, others not in caps and stuff like that. I'm going to demonstrate that real quick. Looking at this document now, you have just the first letter of the sentence, which reads we, and it's in caps. So let me just copy this so that you can understand this better. I just go down and I paste it here still. Okay, so now let's say we want all this document to appear in caps. All you need to do, you don't need to type the document again. You don't need to put on your caps lock on your keyboard and you start typing the document again. No, it doesn't work like that in Word. All you need to do is just you highlight the document, you click on the drop down key here, and you select what? Uppercase. So you see it transforms the text to what? All caps. Okay. Alternatively, if you wanted this to read all in lowercase, you click here and you select what? Lowercase. Okay. So now it's all in what? Lowercase. And then of course you have capitalized each word. What does that mean? It means each word, at the beginning of each word, you're going to have what? A capital letter. As you can see here, you see all now reads, and at the beginning you have what? The letters are all capitalized. Okay, so that is just it for what? The change case. And then coming here to grow font. Grow font is just like changing the font type, but for the fact that it takes it up a notch, just one. So let's say we want to change this font type and we don't really want to come under font type and we start changing an order. You can just come here, you click once, you see it grows. It has moved from what? Let me just undo that. It has moved from, presently we are at 11. So if I was to click here once, look at the font size here. It changes to 12. I go up again. It goes to what? 14. Keep going. It goes to 16 and that 18. To come back to normal, you can what? Use the next option, which is what? Shrink font. Drops to 16, drops to 14, drops to 12, and we are back to what? Where we started, 11. Now, if you're working with your document and you mix, maybe you randomly take a decision and you want to get back to normal, of course, you can always use the undo key, which you have here, the undo option, and you just click and it drops. It takes you back to where you were before. And a more advanced option is clicking on the drop down here, and you can actually see everything that you've been doing here. So now, what have we done here? If if I was to highlight this, say maybe 4 or 5, we're really going to cover this in a more detailed tutorial, but let me just try to explain this. All what you see here are commands that we've been working with since we started working with this document. So if you want to take everything back to what? 0. Now, Luis, you see, we are back. We are back to where we started, okay? There is nothing on the page now. But if you want to bring everything back, you're just gonna come back here and you start bringing everything. You redo, okay? Yes, so if we redo, you see the document comes back to where it was before, okay? So of course, if you're working with a document and you make an error, don't start saying, no, how do you go about it? All you need to do is just to come here and use your undo key. And of course, you can go back. Okay, so now, clear formatting. Clear formatting is like the opposite of the format painter, okay? What clear formatting does is it clears everything as far as what you've been doing in your document is concerned. So let's say we transform this, let's bold this, we italize, we underline and stuff like that. And then if we want to bring this document back to normal, you don't really have to be doing the undo and all that like what I've been explaining. You just need to come to this option, you click on clear formatting, you see, it removes everything and brings the document back to normal. So that is just what clear formatting does. And then of course, coming down to the next option, which is text highlight color. Now the text highlight color, what it does is you can highlight your text, you choose a specific color. By default here is yellow. So if I was to click there, now you see, it highlights, not the text actually, this one is highlighting the background of the text. So it puts a yellow background behind. Let's just go back and we say undo. Okay, now let me do that again. You got a yellow background